How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Mojo Grip. Mike here. It's been an amazing 3 years in building and flying this airplane all around the country, and today I am putting it up for sale. Stay tuned. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Mike and I appreciate you tuning in. And in front of you here is my Sling TSI 2020 model, fully loaded. There's nothing that you would want in a modern airplane that you will not find in this baby. Custom built from day one. You can see the color, and I have to say that I'm really proud of the fact that I don't think there's any other Sling TSI or any other airplane that's painted this color. So I've always loved flying it around because it stands out. Whatever airport that I go to, people recognize the plane, and it's a beautiful bird. And this color still amazes me, especially when the light shines on it. And for those of you who have been following this channel, this airplane needs no reintroduction, but I will point out some really cool stuff in the plane that I use whenever I fly that perhaps in the past I just kind of grace over, especially if you're interested in buying this airplane. These are all important details that I want to show you, and just show you some of the key ingredients that went into building this thing that maybe not everybody thinks about. When you think of a custom built plane, from day one, from design, obviously I didn't design the airplane, but in building it and putting together a bunch of cool features, those were from ground up. And I have to say also that literally every Sling TSI that was built after this, the Mojo Sling, they were built in duplication to all of the features that we put in this airplane. And shout out to Midwest Panel, because they really helped me on the drawing board and gave me just about every single thing that I asked for, which again I'll show you in a little bit. Some quick stats on the airplane. It's a Sling TSI, uses a Rotax 915 turbo engine. This is a true 4-seater airplane, and even though that engine is only 140 horsepower, you don't need more than that because the airplane only weighs about 2,100 pounds, full gross weight. And we have 26 gallons of fuel on each wing. This airplane will run 4 to 6 hours straight, and you can always pull the power back and only burn 4 gallons of fuel per hour. Some of you watch my training. I did get my instrument rating in this airplane, so it is fully equipped for instrument flying. That prop there, automatic. So this is the Airmaster prop. We only have a switch to get the flow of this thing going. You just put it to whatever you're doing. If you're taking off, put the switch to take off. If you're cruising, put it to cruise. If you're climbing, vice versa. So it's a beautiful bird in terms of how everything works in sync. And I can tell you that you won't see any other thing in the same class on the ramp that is as gorgeous as this airplane, but also that is as practical and economical as this airplane. Let me show you the goods on the inside. And I should mention that this airplane has full LED lights. You've got your taxi lights and your position lights to the tip of the wing here. Again, anything you can think of in terms of equipment, you have it on board this aircraft. All right, come on in. Let me show you the interior, the cabin space, where you're gonna be spending most of your time. Again, from day one, every detail that went into this airplane was custom. And shout out to all the folks who helped build this airplane with me. You know, every single thing, all the way to the stitching on the seats, were requested, so I'm happy the way it came out. Those are 2 back seats, so 2 adults can sit back there, and then you also have your pilot and co-pilot seat here. And let's get back to this, because this is what you're going to be playing with as the pilot in command. This aircraft is equipped with the parachute there. It's a gift that, you know, I hope I never get to use. I've been grateful that I haven't needed to use one in this airplane. And I think that's also one of the important things to point out, is that every time that I've flown this plane, I've never thought for 1 second like, okay, I could be in trouble for one reason or another. It just goes. It just flies. Even though as a pilot, I do have in the back of my mind, you know, if something happens to go wrong with anything, I have to be very proactive instead of reactive, right? So I've been grateful that the airplane has just flown beautifully from day one, haven't had any issues. And you saw my little project here. I did color code all of my switches. One, it looks nice, but the truth is it actually helped me out in figuring out certain, what light, what switch, what is. And once you get used to it, you would know without even looking at the actual text, you know exactly what switch you're hitting because the color is already masked into your brain. This airplane has 2 lanes. So unlike your mags, these are lanes and you have your master there. And one of the cool features that we added from day one was push to start, which is that button there. Once this master goes on, you'll see the green light on this switch. And I know, some people might think, oh, this is just fancy, but I promise you, until the day you fly with just push to start, you wouldn't know the real value of it, okay? So I have dual G3X touch. So your primary display, you have your secondary there, Garmin G5 for backup, and I have the GTN 650, great for instrument flying, and also the Autopilot. Again, all of these equipment work seamlessly, and recently just installed my GDL 51, I believe, for SiriusXM, and that really was to help get weather updates. Since I was transitioning to more instrument flying, I needed that. And shout out to SiriusXM because SiriusXM is a sponsor on this channel, and they provided me with the right equipment that I needed to install, but also gave me a complimentary subscription. So as the new owner of this airplane, the equipment is already installed, but you will need a subscription to be able to get your live weather updates and also obviously listen to good music if that's your thing. And another thing in the interior that I probably don't talk about again is this roof line. So if you're not into videos, obviously some of this stuff may not be useful to you, but again, just details that went into building this airplane. I make videos and I made sure that everything was rigged to support that lifestyle. So we've got GoPro mounts on the wings, on both sides. I've got GoPro mount here. I've got GoPro mounts on the door. They're up right now. And then also I've got GoPro mounts on the roof line here. You do have these really cool lights that come on, especially if you're doing night flying. It's so cool when you walk towards the airplane, they just lit up. So that's beautiful, and that's another just cool feature that I requested in the beginning. And again, shout out to Midwest Panel for making it happen. These headset hangers are great. You can easily pick them up on Amazon, but these have worked great for me. And you see my headset here up front, so you can put them wherever you need. Another thing with the airplane is that it has an independent heat source. So you're not getting a heater from your engine. You have an independent exchange, basically another equipment on board that helps put out heat, whenever you're flying and you need to put on the heat. And this is the prop switch that I was mentioning earlier. Again, a lot of you are already familiar with this, but until you get behind the wheels and actually use it, it's amazing. It's amazing. This airplane is a single lever airplane, so you only have the throttle to worry about, and then you have your handbrake, which is to the right of you. And don't mind my my seat cover here. These are removable. I only put them in because every time I step into the airplane, I wanted something to cover it up. But let me jump in. I know the obvious question is, why on God's green earth is he selling this airplane? Well, there's several reasons, and a lot is changing in my world. My mission profile is changing, and some things that I didn't even think about, I'm starting to think about, and I'll explain a few. So, for example, some of you came along with me when I was doing my instrument training, so now an instrument rated pilot, and what that means also, it opens window for me to do more traveling or traveling in different weather conditions. But more so, my mission is changing quite a bit, and it will continue to change, as the year goes by. And for me personally, my whole goal in this aviation world is to continue to grow, right? Both as a pilot and also the aircraft that I'm flying. But one key thing that I never really gave too much thought to in the past was bringing my girls along. So I've actually flown with my girls a few times in this airplane, and it's been fine. But what I started to realize was that sometimes I would want to get higher right? And just for safety reasons, you know, anything above 10,000 feet, got to put some oxygen on, which for me, totally fine. If it's just me and the wife, it's great. Or me and another pilot, you know, we can easily do that. But my babies are very small. I have a 3-year-old and I have a 1-month-old. And I thought of them, how comfortable would they be flying with me? And the fact that I wouldn't even be able to go higher if I wanted to, because I'm not going to stick up oxygen in my baby's nose or face mask, whatever is more comfortable. So one of the things that I started thinking of more is having an airplane with a pressurized cabin. Now, what that would allow is for me to be able to bring my girls along and go somewhere further. So that's one of the key factors that I considered in terms of what the next thing would be. And there's other stuff too. You know, I'm also part owning a flight school, and I'm going full gear with the flight school this year and the years to come. So again, if you followed my journey, you know that I started as a student. So this is full circle, and I'm so excited about this flight school because it feels like it feels right, and it gives a direct impact for me, because I've showcased so many things on this channel, and I will continue to do that. But to be able to get people to have a direct impact on whether young or old, you know, male or female, to get them in this pilot seat, especially for those who want to build a career out of it, I'm really excited to be a part of that. And so, you know, selling the airplane allows me to, one, do more of that, and then also allows me to be able to move on to the next thing, because ultimately I want to involve my family more with my travels. I've been out of the house too many times, and I hate that I'm gone for a week, 2 weeks sometimes, and I'm without them. So my goal for this year and the coming years is to include them more in my travels. And while this airplane is great for cross-country flights, for smaller children, I would prefer to have a pressurized cabin, because it makes things a lot easier and more comfortable. And so that is the gist. That's why I'm selling. And if you are interested in buying this airplane, I'm gonna leave my email in the description. You can hit me up. I'm open to answer any questions. Scheduled time, please come by, check it out. Bring your AP mechanic if you need to. The airplane has been hangared its entire life. Maintenance is up to date. And as you can see, obviously, this is, you know, it's been well kept, and I made sure of that. So please do email me if you have any questions. The listing for the airplane will be on aeroavion.com. I'm putting as much information on there. But like I said, email me if you have any other specific questions, and I'll be happy to answer for you. Okay, so thank you all so much for everything, for the support, for everything. This is a sad, good moment for me, because I don't want to let the plane go, but I also need to move on to the next thing. But I really appreciate all your support, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace.